Teal Miller.
Good morning, Paul. We did have discussions that I was talking with Jerry and we said, we missed you for our last, rehearsal. So when will we see you again? IRL in real life.
Okay.
Morning, everybody. Great to see you.
Good morning.
When you log on, do you get a message that says this is being recorded?
Yes.
Yes.
Just curious.
You fix that.
But just be careful what you say because it could be used against you in a court of law.
Thanks for that warning.
Good luck.
When this whole thing breaks open and the trials start, you
Right.
guys could get subpoenaed.
We run for the hills.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
I know you're all devastated at the news that Guy Lafleur passed away.
Who?
Hockey, right? Hockey player?
I subscribe to a thing. A buddy of mine started a news feed that's called Dead.
Oh, that sounds scary.
So when somebody famous dies, I get an email from Dead that says who died, and there's a link to the obituary.
Okay. Well, I don't know about Guy Lafleur, but Robert Morse died yesterday.
Yeah, what about Robert Morse?
I got one yesterday. I got one yesterday that said Dead Robert Morse.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, who's Robert Morris? Sorry, I don't
Oh,
know.
remember how to succeed in business without really trying? He was the star.
Oh, okay.
And he came back as the lead partner in Mad Men in the ad agency.
Right.
In his 80s. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
he
was
was
wonderful.
90. No, he died at 90. So
Yeah.
he did okay.
Do you guys remember that book, The 7 Habits of Highly Influential People, something like that?
Yeah.
Successful people.
Highly successful people. And I can't remember the author's name at the moment, but I was part of an event somewhere where he was speaking and I was singing. And after the event, I ran into him at the airport. We were both flying home on the same flight. And I thought, you know what, I'll just go meet him, and because I had read his book. And I went over and introduced myself and said I was just at the event with you and I really appreciate your book. It impacted my life. And I stuck out my hand and he was a complete deadbeat.
Oh,
Like his handshake was like a dead fish.
That's
Oh,
all.
And there was no signs of life here, and he couldn't even pretend to be interested to talk to me for 5 seconds. And inside I was thinking, you're not being highly successful or influential right now.
Probably was terrified of flying. It was on some drug like Valium or something.
Plus, lots of people are, they're one person when they're writing their book and when they're up speaking, and then they don't want to be bothered when they're traveling home.
Yeah.
They want to be left.
Either that or he poured out his entire personality on the pages of the book
Yeah,
and didn't leave anything behind.
it was just funny, when somebody's so dynamic on stage and in their book, and then you meet them and you're like, oh, okay. You feel like singing?
Yes,
Sure.
Let's sing even if we don't feel like it.
I always feel like singing.
I didn't feel like running this morning and I just made myself do it and now I feel better. Okay, I'm gonna do this and this. I have a genuine sadness every time I have to hit the mute all button. I should get over it, right?
Yes. Yes.
Here we go. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. I saw a video online of a 95-year-old man. He was a former opera singer who has continued to sing and study, and just an incredible voice at 95. Goo 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 goo. Encouraged me to keep going. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. Steve was the guy's name Stephen Covey, the author of The Hot Habits. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. Goo 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 goo. Conversely, one time I played piano for somebody at an event where it was a dinner that Michelle Obama was hosting. It was about 20 people. And it was like we were in somebody's living room and I was right over there playing piano. And afterwards, there was an opportunity to get our photo taken. So I waited in line and I walked up to her and I stuck my hand out to shake her hand and she hugged me. She just gave me a full frontal body hug, like my one hand was like smushed. And I thought that was incredibly gracious and friendly of her to hug a stranger. She could have just shook my hand or just waved. Gave me a hug. I thought that was nice. Franklin Covey. No, not Franklin Covey. Alan's looking it up. We already did goo goo goo. Let's do minga minga minga. Minga 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 ming. Minga 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 ming. Sorry, I need to mute all. Somebody sneaked out. Minga 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 ming. Minga 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 ming. There you are, Jane. Minga 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 ming. Minga 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 ming. Minga 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 ming. Hopefully I'll see some of you tonight at Chicago Acapella concert in Naperville. Minga 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 ming. We've had 4 singers test positive for COVID since the last weekend of concerts. So they've all been in various stages of recovery. Minga 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 ming. Minga 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 ming. Minga 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 ming. Minga 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 ming. Minga 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 ming. Minga 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 ming. Stephen Covey. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Maybe the closing song every time we meet should be that, the theme to the old Carol Burnett show. I'm so glad we had this time together. That's a bad key to sing it in. I'll figure it out. Nay, 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 nay. I like that song. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Wasn't that a great show with Harvey Korman, Tim Conway? Who was the other female comedian who played Mama? Vicki Lawrence. Nay, 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 nay. And the real handsome guy, what was his name? You know who I'm talking about?
Lyle Wagner.
Oh, Wagner. For the money. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. Nay, 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 nay. one really gets me opened up. Marcia saying, didn't Lyle Wagner have a great voice? Do you mean his speaking voice, or was he a singer? I didn't remember him being a singer. I just remember him being tall, dark, and handsome. They always kind of cast him as the leading man type character. He was more of the straight man to Tim Conway and man, Harvey Korman. I love all those old shows. I love to watch the Andy Williams show, the Dean Martin show, Carol Burnett show. I still like, who's this guy? Really good show, really good show. Ed Sullivan. Did you hear me flip over just then into my head voice? So I'm 100% in my head voice right now. We're going to do some of that head voice stuff here in a minute. Let's do the NG. Up behind your nose. That's where I feel the sound targeting, up kind of in my nose or behind my nose. Is that where you feel it going? Okay, here's a new one we haven't done before that my teachers have me do. We're going to sing on a V, like the letter V, like this. So my teeth are touching my lip. So the point of this one is our mouth is a little bit more involved than the NG sound, but not so much that it becomes too much mouth and not enough nasopharynx. So that we're introducing the mouth back into our sound by percentages. In other words, the NG exercise is no mouth. And this is just like 10% or 20% mouth. I'm so glad, Christine. Hey, Dave. Did you hear my break happen? Okay, here's another new one. It's like a UH, but our tongue is sort of curled back, touching the roof of our mouth like this. Can you see my tongue? It's not tense, but it is curled back and touching the roof. Think of like a UH sound. So here's the point of this one. UH in general is a good syllable for a lot of people. It's sort of neutral. And it generally promotes good, relaxed singing. And then putting the tongue up is just a way of moving our tongue. So our tongue sort of has its own patterns of where it wants to go when we sing. And sometimes our tongue is a nuisance. So if we train it to go somewhere else at our command, we're sort of interrupting the status quo of where our tongue wants to sit. So just go with it for a minute. Okay, one more that's sort of similar, and we're going to say the syllable like ER. Tongue can be relaxed. Okay, one more set, and that is low head voice. We started doing this last week, but I want us to continue doing it. I want us to start trying to move our head voice down lower and lower and lower for the purpose of developing the the crossover of head voice and chest voice so that we can increasingly sing in a mix. So this time I want to try it this way. I want to start up higher and then we're going to go lower. So in my voice, it's going to sound like this. But the women, you're going to be up here. In as much of a head voice as you can do it. Now, if this feels too high, just wait a second and try each one as I go down by half steps. As soon as you can jump in, just make sure that you're in your head voice and not in your chest voice. The whole point of the exercise is to be in head voice. Let's add a vocal fry at the beginning. So all the women should be up here. Now, at some point, it's either going to feel too high or too low, but over time, we can increase it in either direction. The point is not for these notes to sound beautiful while we're doing this exercise. The point is just to make them in head voice, to increasingly be able to sing your head voice lower, 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 higher, 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 to have the two crossover. I'm getting a call from Matt Greenberg. Let's move on. Let's start singing. Let's start with one we haven't looked at in a while, and that's Already Home. We'll sing through and then we'll talk about, let me just text Matt and just see if it's urgent. It's probably because of our singers that are sick. Let me just text him real quick. In a Zoom meeting, period. Is it urgent? Question mark. Okay, let me get my folder open here. Those are some good warm-ups. I confess that it takes me a good hour or 45 minutes to feel like my voice is warmed up. So by the end of this rehearsal, my voice will feel like it's completely warmed up. It doesn't feel that way at the moment. It feels better than it did a minute ago. But that's just the pattern for my voice right now. Already Home. So this one's pretty easy, but it feels like a good one to start with sometimes. Here we go. Why did that open? Why did that open? Here we go. This is Already Home, full mix, all parts. Can you hear it okay?
You think you're lost, but that's not true. You simply lived a dream or two.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
You traveled all this way to find you never left your home behind.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Every journey leads you back to where you start. Close your eyes, it's very easy. You'll find that you're already home. We have to finish to begin. We have to lose before we win. And soon we'll see it isn't far from where we were to where we are.
And
Home is a place in your heart. Every journey leads you back to where you start. Close your eyes, it's very easy. You'll find that you're already home is a place in your heart. Every journey leads you back to where you start. Close your eyes, it's very easy. You'll find that you're already home.
1, 2, 3, 4, and
Home is a place in your heart. Every journey leads you back to where you start. Close your eyes, it's very easy. You'll find that you're already home.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2,
Yes, there's no place as good as home.
How'd you do? Anybody feel 100% or 95% accurate? Any spots where you feel like you're really crashing and burning or that you need to review?
Where do I pick up the first note right at the beginning for the basses? The very first note. Where do I get it?
One place you could get it is 2 measures before. Here's the bass note. We're on at the measure 21, where the sopranos and altos sing. Your home behind. It's in that chord. Your home behind. Here's your note. Home is a place in. Let me see. What's another way to do it? Your home behind. So I hear my ear. When I hear these 2 chords, your home behind, I hear it wanting to go here. Your home behind, home. I hear the resolution to that home tone or tonic or the 1 of the scale. Does that help at all? Your home behind. Bum, ba-da-da-da, bum. So I know it's tricky. Let me see here. So here's another thing. The whole intro, bum. It keeps coming back to this, bum. Then at top of page 3, measure 9, bum. You think you're lost. So you could sort of be humming that for a whole page. That F minor chord keeps happening, bum, 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 and then it happens again, like I said, top of 4, 2 measures before you come in. You have one more chance to grab it. Bum, bum, home is a place in. That's one kind of strategy for finding that. Any other trouble spots that you'd like to talk about? Okay, let's move on to Happy Together. We're kind of increasing incrementally in difficulty. This one has that fun key change that we all love, or that we all hate. I can't remember what you said last time. Here we go. Happy together. Full mix, all parts. We'll run. Darn it. Whenever I click on that, something changes here. It's very strange.
What are we singing?
Happy together. Interesting. It keeps wanting to make the Zoom screen go away. Here it comes. This is Already Home. Nope, Already Home. Where's Happy Together? This is Happy Together, full mix, all parts. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together.
If I should call you up and bust a dime, and you say you belong to me, and ease my mind, imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together.
It had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together.
So happy together. And always together. So happy together.
1, 2,
So happy together.
So obviously measure 45 at the top of page 10, the key change, that's a tricky spot. I also think, as we've discovered in previous rehearsals, that bottom of 7, measure 29, that's a tricky spot for some. So I wanna hit those with each part, and then I wanna take your questions about other spots. So sopranos have it a little bit easy there, because when this, I'm looking at bottom of 6 rolling into bottom of 7. This is sopranos. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you have the same note, so it's less tricky for sopranos. But other parts maybe not so much. So altos have the same note, but let's check altos. Starting bottom of 6, 2, ready, and when you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me. Altos, are you nailing that probably? Tenors. Bottom of 6 tenors, 2, ready, go. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you. And did you get a teal? Way to go. Way to go. One more time, tenors. 2, ready, go. When you're with me, sorry. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me. All the tenors nailing that? Wow. Way to go. Basses, 2, ready, go. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue. Or, sorry, blue, dot, 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 dot. Basses, are you nailing that? A little bit of a tricky spot if you're not thinking ahead. Okay, so maybe measure 29 is fixed potentially. Try with everybody singing your own part, and I'll just play the parts. Here's bottom of 6, the second measure. When you're with me, bass, tenor, alto, soprano. A 1, and we're going to stop on the first note of 29. We're going to stop right there and make sure that everybody's nailing that note. 2, ready, go. How did you do? Anybody need it again? Feel like you're nailing it? Okay, let's do the same kind of thing going into the key change, and then I'll also field any additional questions you might have. So what I want to do is start 2 bars before the key change, basses. So this is the last measure, bottom of 9, everybody, but starting with the basses. Ba 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 da da da. One more time, basses, same thing. 2, ready, go. Ba 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 da. Are you getting it? Good. Tenors. Here we go, tenors. 2, ready, go. Ba 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 ba. Me and you, me. One more time, tenors. 2, ready, go. Ba 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 ba. Me. How you doing, tenors? Getting it? Kind of interesting that over time we can sort of train our ear to anticipate that chord that at first seemed a bit strange, but over time it becomes less strange. That's what people say who are friends with me. Over time I seem less strange. Other people say over time I seem more strange, and they back away slowly. Here we go, altos. Here we go, altos. A 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. So it's the note you've just come from in a way. Ba 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 ba. Dee 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 dee. Ba 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 ba. Dee 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 dee. Dee 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 dee. How you doing, altos? Are you nailing that? Feel pretty confident? Wow, you guys are amazing. Sopranos, let's just double check. Here we go, sopranos, 2, ready, go. Getting it? That's so fantastic. It seemed like maybe even just a week ago, we were struggling a little bit, some of us, with this moment in the song. Okay, so those are the 2 kind of obvious spots. What are other spots that I don't know about that you might be getting off track a little bit? Are there any? If not, we're going to run it again. Yes, go
No,
ahead.
just,
Where were you just now? I couldn't find where you say the key change. I don't know what that means. I don't know what page where
I
I
was
got lost.
starting each time of those 4 parts. I was starting the last measure, bottom of 9.
The last measure, bottom of 9. Oh,
And then
okay.
the
I
page,
didn't know.
and then the key change is that big mess at 45, where we see a new 3 sharp. It goes from this chord to this chord.
Oh, 45 on the next page. I see
yes.
where
So
45 is. Oh, I didn't know what we were doing. Sorry.
You want
Okay,
to
I'll
do
mute
it again?
myself. Yeah.
You want me
Thank
to
you.
do it? You want me to
Wait,
do it?
I want to. Yeah, I'd appreciate it, but I want to try to get unmuted again.
What part are you?
Alto.
Let's do alto again at
Thank
that
you.
spot, at that spot. So
Thank you. You can mute me again. I don't know how to find that spot either. Thank you.
no problem. Okay, so we're going to start last measure, bottom of 9 for the altos, which is this. 2, 3, 4, D, 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 D. One more time, alto. So last measure, bottom of 9, 2, ready, and ba, 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 ba. D, 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 D. So the note I was wanting to check was the very first note of 45 to make sure that all the altos were landing on that. One more time, altos. 1, 2, ready, and ba, 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 D. Do you feel like you're getting it? Okay, so Sharon had a question, I think.
Yeah, we've run this a couple times, and yesterday with Jonathan, we actually sat and stood in formation, choir formation. And many of us, me in particular, were sort of hesitant to come in on our first dot. I mean, we hear the bass go da-da, and then like, who's going to be the one to say the first dot? Are we going to get it? Or are we going to back off and come in on the next measure?
So let's train ourselves to nail it the first time. So we'll try this.
Right.
We'll try this a couple of ways. One is that I will give everybody their notes kind of in order. So here's the bass is going to be this. Tenor, your first note tenors is this. First note of alto is this. First note of soprano is this. So what I want to try is everybody just sing your first note on an ah. All at the same time. So bass, we're going to sing this note. Tenor, alto, soprano. Just sing ah. 2, ready, go. Okay, so that's one way of sort of practicing what our first note is. And then we'll try it this way. I'll count us in, and we're just going to stop on the basses are going to go. Everybody else is just going to land on your first note and hold it like this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And just hold your first note. Again, a 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's essentially practicing just the beginning of the song. Now let's just make it a full measure. So it's going to sound like this. 2, 3, 4. Just try the first measure. A 1, 2, ready, go. Okay? So just sort of practicing the first measure slowly. Now, let's try it with the track that has the click and the count off, but I'm going to stop it. I'm going to give us, I'm going to stop it after that first chord, but you're going to hold it. Da da da. Hold your first note, okay? This is Happy Together, full mix, all parts. Keep holding it. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Da, da, da. Did you hold it? Try it again. So even though I stop the track, you're going to hold your first chord. This is Happy Together, full mix, all parts. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Da-da. So how are you doing? Are you nailing it? Okay, so this is how I practice a tricky spot. I have to land on it and hold it. If I keep going, I sometimes keep making the same mistake. So let's go again. Let's just kind of drill this beginning. I'll give you your notes again. Basses, tenor, alto, soprano. Anybody know what chord that is? It has a name. Just curious if anybody knows. It's G minor. Here we go. This is Happy Together, full mix, all parts. Keep going this time. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Da-da. How'd you do? Here's something to think about. I had heard somebody say once that it's more disconcerting for rhythms to be imprecise than for notes to be imprecise. I tend to agree with that. Like, I would almost rather hear you come in rhythmically accurate on the wrong note than come in on the right note beautifully and be early or late and have it sound like da da with different attacks. Obviously, the ideal is a beautiful note at the right time, but when the rhythms aren't precise, that's more kind of disjointed feeling that even than notes being a little bit sharp or flat. Here we go again. Here's your starting pitches: tenor, alto, soprano. And you can be humming your note right now because nobody else can hear you, or humming your note. This is Happy Together, full mix, all parts. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. How'd you do? Nailing it? I know I'm stopping it a lot, but this is the way I know to rehearse a tricky spot, is to do it in short segments over and over again. This time I'll keep it going. This is Happy Together, full mix, all parts. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together.
If I should call you up and just a dime, and you say you belong to me, and ease my mind, imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me, no matter how they. So as tempted as I am to just let it roll, I want to stop and just see how we're doing. You feel like you're secure and nailing all the tricky spots, and I think that's kind of incredible. I mean that sincerely, like that you've learned this song. It's got some tricky spots to it. It's a cappella, it's pop. Maybe it's kind of repertoire that you haven't sung before. I think it's incredible that you've learned it. Well done. To the beginning again, and I'm not going to stop you this time, and then we'll touch base and just see, did you get 29 and did you get 45? This is Happy Together, full mix, all parts. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together. If I should call you up and just a dime, and you say you belong to me, and ease my mind, imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. Me and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me. So happy together. So happy together. And always together. So happy together. So happy together.
So how are you doing on page 11 and 12, where it starts to kind of unravel and devolve into polyphony and independent lines, and they don't end the way they ended before? You feel like you're nailing all of that? Some of you are giving me thumbs up. Spectacular. Wish I could hear you guys singing, because I think it would be cool. Okay, ready to move on? The general feeling is nodding of head.
Thank you very, very much for helping with that intro. I mean, this is our first song of the concert, and it's the first measure of the first song. So we really need to nail it. And I think we did. Just thank you very much, Paul.
If I was going to be leading it, I would rehearse it the way I just did, like 10 times in a
We
row,
haven't done that before, so thank you.
just to make people feel certain. What a wonderful world. Love this song. I'm going to play you 30 seconds of a version of this by a saxophone player named Brandon Fields. What a wonderful world. He plays alto sax, and this version has strings. Brandon Fields. Just a glorious string arrangement. This won't take but a minute. That scratches all my itches. Brandon Fields. The album is Brandon Fields and Strings. Okay, here we go. What a Wonderful World. I don't love these rehearsal tracks that I made, but I was still kind of learning how to do it. Every time I click on this today. This is What a Wonderful World, all parts.
I see trees of green and roses too. I see some bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Okay, tricky spots on this one? Are there any? This one probably feels like a walk in the park after some of the others. Like it's relatively easy once you kind of work through it. No tricky spots? Anybody wanting to sing it again, or shall we move on to harder things? Moving on to harder things. It's a song that I'm just now writing. That's all I have. I don't have any more. How about The Storm is Passing Over? Oh, wait. Why is that such big files? Hang on just one second. Let me do something here. So we're going to sing with the tracks, but I'm going to tell you that there's things about the tracks that are not correct. And you're just going to sing what you know to be correct over the top of it. So for one thing, you're going to sing "The storm is passing over." You're singing kind of over, which I don't think we did on these tracks. Passing over, hallelujah. And then the other thing is at the end. Yes, we're going to get to Luke's and Zion's walls. The other thing is at the end, the number of repeats and when it goes to oo. So the third and fourth time it's oo. I'm talking about at the top of page 4, but I don't think we did that on these rehearsal tracks.
Paul,
Yes.
Jonathan made us memorize the whole song on Wednesday.
Let's see if you have it memorized, shall we? Those of you that have it memorized, feel free to do so. Here it comes.
Have courage, my soul, and let us journey on. Though the night is dark, and I am far from home, thanks be to God, the morning light appears. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah. 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 The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. storm is passing over. Hallelujah.
This time is ooh, ooh.
The storm is passing over. 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 Hallelujah.
Now, fortissimo and the words.
Hallelujah. 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 The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. The storm is passing over. Hallelujah.
You guys seem like you know that one really well. Moving on, please, to Lux Eterna. This is Lux Eterna, full mix, all parts. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to try it without my counting and the click. This is Lux Eterna, full mix, all parts, without click or counting. Please do not record to this track. Requiem aeternam dona eis Domine, e lux perpetua lucea
Lux eterna, lux eterna, lucea
Okay, what spots are troubling you in particular besides everything? Let's just pick one spot for you.
Paul, could you conduct us from 45 into the key change with the retired and the tempo?
Yep. So I'll give you your notes and then we'll just do it a cappella. Let's start at top of 9. Last measure, top of 9. So the sopranos are holding na, and the altos have luceat, and the tenors have luceat, and the basses have is luceat. I'll try to play some parts, but I'll conduct and speak it. 2, 3, 4. Luce, 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 2 and donna, da 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 dee da 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 dee. That's not what's on the track, but that just feels more musical to me. Now, I won't be conducting it at your concerts, so your conductors may do it a little bit differently, but that's the general idea. Let's do the same thing again. Top of 9. Here's the bass note, tenor, alto, soprano. 2.
You mean the bottom of page 9, the last staff?
I'm starting at the last measure, top of 9.
Last measure.
See where I am? 2, 3, 4. Does that help? I didn't do a very good job on the track. I was just trying to follow instructions, but it kind of came out kind of constipated. Now let's go back to the first measure, top of 9, which is this measure. So we're just going to go back 2 measures and try to put the whole page together with this feel. Here's the bass, tenor, alto, soprano. This is top of 9, first measure. 2, ready, go. Does that make sense? I'm trying to kind of grab vocal parts and piano accompaniment, but give you the feel of it.
Thank you.
Does that feel like it's helping a little bit?
Yeah, a lot.
Can we do that again? That was very helpful.
We'll do that again, and then we'll go back to top of 8 and kind of put this whole section. The whole song, I think page 8 and 9 are the trickiest. There's other tricky spots, but I'll be here to state the obvious. Just tune in periodically, and I'll be stating obvious things. Here's the bass. Here's the tenor, alto, soprano. Top of 9, 2, ready, go. So I realize I'm not grabbing everybody's note. I'm just trying to grab the ones that are moving to kind of help us feel the tempo. Now, let's go to top of 8. Last measure, top of 8. I wish I had written this. It's so beautiful. Here's the bass note, tenor, alto, soprano. Last measure, top of 8. 2, 3, 4. Kind of getting the feel of it. Let's do it again. This time I will try to play somebody else's part.
Can you go a little further? We have a pretty hard line on page 10, right after you stop.
Okay. I'll keep going this time. Let's start top of 8. Maybe we'll do this at least 4 times, and I'll try to concentrate on one part each time. And this time I'll concentrate on soprano. So here's the bass note, tenor, alto, soprano. Anybody know what that chord's called? It's not G minor, it's B minor. Here we go. Last measure, top of 8, 2, ready, and. How'd you do? Sopranos, was that helping at all to kind of hear your note being played like that?
It's pretty good to sing, except when we do the same note, sometimes forget to get back to the 46, measure 46 there, when we stop. So I've been counting the da 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 5, then we come in. Is it the best way to do it?
Yeah, so here's an example of what I might do. I'm going to write it in here. 1 and 2 and 4.
There are 5 of those between among the 3 other parts. Then we stop with the do not looks.
Here's a possible way that you could help yourself. Let me see here. Can you see what I've written there? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and on that long high note. That's what I have to think in my brain when I'm counting and when I'm holding a long note like that and everybody else is moving, I write it in. Can you see my handwriting there at all? And so when I'm hearing the other parts moving, I'm counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and off. Donna looks. So
Yeah, I figured there are the 5 of the da 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 da, and then the tenor da 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 da, and then alto da 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 da, and then tenor, and then alto. Then we do now, right? This is how we count.
correct. So if you started at the last measure, top of 9, where you have the na,
Right.
you would be counting 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1.
Okay. So you're saying forget about tenor and the bass. Tenor there's an in too, but I just concentrate on the alto. Okay.
Yeah, whatever works for you. Another way you could do it is this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, off. Donna looks.
Okay. Thank you.
But if you're listening to the other parts, that's a good way to do it too, because they're helping you count all the alto moving part, the tenor moving part. That's all.
Yeah. I was counting 5 of them, then I can't get in, but I don't know if that's the best way. Sometimes I lost count, then
Yeah.
I don't know when to start.
Yeah, maybe counting fewer numbers is easier way to keep track of it.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so let's go back to top of 8, and I'm going to play the alto part this time. Here's the bass, here's the tenor, alto, soprano, and I'm concentrating on the alto. 2, 3, 4. How you doing on that? Feel like you're getting it?
Paul, this is Barb. I have a question. It seems like you're doing a riff at the very last beat of 46, where it says chant like. Are you doing a little retard?
I did, but it's sort of at the discretion of the conductor. So that the word retard that's written in measure 45, that retard lasts all the way until the next instruction. And the next instruction is the downbeat of 47. It says a tempo.
I don't have a retard.
Look at right above the soprano line in 45. And above
So, okay, got it.
actually it's above every line in 45.
Got it. Thanks.
RIT dot. So that retard lasts until the next tempo instruction, which in this case is at 47, where it says a tempo. But it's all kind of at the discretion of the conductor. So Jonathan, whoever your conductor is for the concert, they might interpret these two measures differently than me, which is beautiful and yet unfortunate and confusing and somehow individualistic. And
Watch the conductor.
yeah. So, and I might do it differently every time. Just, I'm not meaning to be hard to follow, but I'm just, feeling it in the moment. So,
Altos, okay, can I ask a question?
okay.
For altos, the second G on 42, we take a little pause after nay, and then we say, and I don't know how long to pause, because if I pause 1 split second too long, I'm lost for that whole line.
Yeah, and that's another discretionary thing. So the eis Domine et lux perpe. That's how I feel it. But that doesn't mean your person's going to feel it that way. Eis Domine et lux perpetua lu. That feels musical and sensible to me, but the other person might do it a different way.
Thank you.
Paul, that's why I asked you to conduct it for us, just so we can get used to watching the conductor. And, you can conduct it 2 or 3 different ways. And that way if we watch you and watch whatever our conductor is going to be doing, we'll be able to come out with the right tempo.
Okay, so here's me conducting it and speaking it. Let's start top of 8, last measure. I'm not going to play, I'm just going to conduct. 2, 3, 4. Requiem aeternam dona eis Domine et lux perpetua luceat. One more time. And I'm speaking the alto line as if that's not obvious. 1, 2, top of 8. Requiem aeternam dona eis Domine et lux perpetua luceat. Does that help? It's a different way of seeing or hearing the music.
Don't stop there, but continue on to the tempo.
Okay. Would you like to run the rehearsal, Dave?
No, but I'd like to make sure that we can get through this retarded tempo altogether.
I understand. I'm trying to help people with their parts back at the top of 8, however. One more time, top of 8, and then we're going to go back and jump back on what I was trying to do. Top of 8, I'll keep conducting and I'll speak the alto part. 2, ready, go. Requiem aeternam dona eis Domine et lux perpetua luceat eis luce. Requiem lux eterna. Helpful to some of you? Okay, back to top of 8, and I'll focus on the tenors this time. Here's the bass, tenor, alto, soprano. A 1, 2, ready, and. How'd you do, tenors? Okay, same thing again, top of 8. I'll focus on the basses. 1, 2, ready, go. So I realize it's tricky when I'm playing one of those other parts to sing your part against it. If your part's moving and interesting and I'm not catching that. But how do you feel like you're doing in general? Now I want to try something. I want to try everybody's still singing their own part, but I'm not going to be helping anybody. And we'll start last measure, top of 8, and we'll go to the end, and then we'll talk about any additional help you might need. So here's the last measure, top of 8, bass, tenor, alto, soprano. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, and. And 2. Basses and tenors are still holding, and boom. How'd you do? No helping notes, just as close to the accompaniment as I could sight reading. So feel like you're getting there. I'm amazed.
Three or four rehearsals, we'll get there.
I'm amazed that you guys have learned this mostly online. It's a difficult piece of music.
Well, that one line is the one line that I have trouble with. So given that I just came in 15 minutes ago, thank you. Timing is excellent.
Which line are you referring to?
The one you've been going over, E lux perpetua luceat.
With the pause in the middle of it?
Yes. That was, yeah.
So the pause is Jonathan's interpretation. It's not actually written in the music.
Oh.
It's not the composer's idea, it's Jonathan's idea. He wanted the tenors and altos to have a breath because they have continuous eighth notes. The altos start 2 measures before that, and if you don't have a little bit of a breath there, sometimes it's hard to make the phrase. So that pause was Jonathan's idea. I'd be curious to know how he's interpreting it in real life. Those of you that are in his choirs, is he doing a little bit of a pause there?
Yeah, pretty much Daniel's going to be leading this, and we do pause.
Okay. Does it feel similar to what I've been doing, or is it
Yes,
completely
yes.
different? And what about at 46? Does his interpretation of that retard sort of feel like what I'm doing, or does it feel completely different?
I think Jonathan is leaving to Hannah to do the final toning.
Oh, I see.
He kept saying that's how, rough. I'm happy now we can go. We did it from the beginning to the end Wednesday. So he said, oh, I'm feeling much better now. But the final tuning of certain songs would be up to Hannah.
It's interesting if all the conductors are saying, well, another conductor is going to decide. Like if nobody's sort of being in charge. I know it's not me because I'm not conducting the concert, so I know with all certainty that it's not me. But it's just funny if every conductor's saying, well, why don't you ask him?
But there are pieces Jonathan's really responsible, and he's really is text master.
Yeah, I agree.
I know. Can I just say something? Because it was, we blended on Wednesday, the Arlington Heights group with Daniel. And it's really a challenge this late in the rehearsals to blend with another choir and with another director, because there are differences, and I noted them. He doesn't slow down as much as you do. We do slow down, but differently. So it's really an hour and a half on Wednesday was just not enough to blend better. And I hope by next Wednesday, we're blending even better.
Plus, everybody's hands look different. The way they show the music in their hands, it looks different. Hey, it's time. So, I'm so glad we had this time together, just to share a laugh. And what's the rest of the words? Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Can't remember how the rest of it goes. Great to see you guys. Thanks for your hard work today.
It was wonderful, and the dissecting apart.
Thank you,
that
Paul.
you
That
did
Luke's
was great.
Turner rehearsal was really, really helpful.
Really good, really good.
Really helpful.
Great to see you guys.
Thank you.
Good to see you. Thanks,
you.
Paul.
Bye, thanks.
Paul, are you coming to the Fourth Presbyterian?
I'm not sure. I actually need to check the calendar. I don't even have it on my calendar.
It is I think, isn't it the 5th of May?
Okay, I'll go check it right now.
And then if you're in Chicago, maybe we can go have your Vietnamese pho.
I would love some Vietnamese pho.
So I'm just thinking this possibility if you are in Chicago anyway.
Are you going to be coming to Wheaton Glen Ellen on the 1st?
I have that on my calendar too. It's just I've got so many
Yeah.
events I'm trying to juggle.
Yeah.
Gotta pick and choose.
Because I think that's the first concert is Wheaton Glen Ellen in Arlington Heights.
Check your email, Paul. I sent you something.
Okay, terrific. Thank you, folks.
See you at the sing-along.
Bye.
Soon.